Hi.
Bienvenidas a Super Mamás.
Super Mamás.
This is Paulina.
And this is Bricia.
We're new moms.
We're sisters.
I have two beautiful girls, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old at home.
And I have one beautiful baby boy.
As you can imagine, we have so much to share.
We're just two working moms rolling with the punches of everyday mommyhood. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Okay, listas?
Here we go. Hi guys, this is Bricia, and this week in our podcast we have Martha Castro, aka Mrs. Castro on Instagram, here with us. We are going to chit chat with her and talk about social media. We are going to talk about fertility issues, my broken foot, our trips to Target again, and more Disney stories. So stay tuned guys, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Hello.
Oh my God.
We do that every single time.
It's all kind of embarrassing. We have a guest here and she's looking at us like, oh, you guys really do time it. Hi, sister.
Hello.
We're back in my house.
We are back in your house.
And I broke my toe.
I shouldn't be laughing. I'm sorry. I know.
How does somebody break their toe?
Their pinky toe.
Their pinky toe.
You know what? I probably would have broken my pinky toe like about 5 times already, the way you did it. Like, it happens to me all the time.
I've never even broken one bone in my body, and the first bone I break has to be my freaking pinky toe.
Tell us the story.
So it was Saturday night.
Yeah.
And we were watching a movie, and then I was so tired, and I was like, you know what, babe, I'm gonna go to bed. Like, I'm done. So he was like, okay. And I just rearranged my house because I'm trying to baby proof this place, well, that area over there. And I put a chair somewhere where it was empty before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I was walking, and my pinky got, you know, that like in the middle between your pinky and
that happens to everybody.
The toe next to your pinky.
Yeah.
And I just hit the leg of my chair. Do you know how like that happens to you, right?
That
with the
happens
bed,
to me. Oh my
like
God.
all the time, right?
All the time.
I don't know how hard I wasn't running. I was, and then it just went crack, and then I heard the crack, and I was like, oh my God.
You know what I think also? I think that because you're breastfeeding right now so much, I think your bones are a little bit, low on calcium.
I think my body's low on everything.
Yeah. Like, seriously, I think that because, I hit my pinky all the time. Like, it just hurts like
oh my God.
So bad.
No, it's so, and I was like, and it just kind of went numb.
Yeah.
So then I still had like the strength to go all the way to my bed and lay down. And then I was like crying like crazy, like, ah. And then his cousin was here.
Your husband's cousin?
My husband's cousin was here. And he was, let's go to the hospital, baby. I'm like, no, who's going to stay with the baby? He said, my cousins are here. He's not going to wake up. No, what if they wake up? They know how to make a bottle. My life is ruined. Like, I made I was so dramatic. So dramatic. My poor husband. And then, anyway, so I decided to stay home.
I know. I mean, what you text me.
Yeah, I texted you and I called Elizabeth.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I go? Should I stay? Like, but I think that was a good move that you.
I think that was the best thing I could have done.
Yeah.
That he helped me put ice, elevated my foot. Mm-hmm. I took like 3 Tylenol, 500 milligrams each. I told the doctor, she's like, what'd you take for the pain? I'm like, 3 Tylenols, 500 milligrams. She was like, that's a lot.
You were like,
I was in pain.
It was broken.
So I got x-rays and then I saw the little crack. And I'm like, oh my God. So now I have a freaking surgical boot.
It's kind of like a chancla.
No, and then I went on Amazon trying to find a cute surgical boot because I'm going on a trip. I'm leaving on Thursday for the weekend.
Of course, you would try to find a cute.
So I looked everywhere. No, someone out there should invent a cute surgical. I found one that had like laces, but they didn't have my size. And Elizabeth was like we went to Target. And then I went to Target.
I saw your Snapchat.
How does one who break their toe have enough time to go to Target afterwards?
I told my friends yesterday, because I was with my friends. We were supposed to go to a spa. You were supposed to come. So everybody was asking me about you. And I was like, oh, she broke her toe. And she sent me a Snapchat from Target. They were like, she went to Target with a broken pinky. I was like, yeah, that's my sister.
Nothing's going to stop me
from going to Target.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm rearranging my home. I don't know if it's like November. I always get into this mode that I like rearrange everything. You
rearrange everything just all the time.
All the time, right? I think every year. So then I saw this Bart cart that I wanted to get at Target. And the lizard needs to go to Target. And I remember they had those little those little carts at Target. Those motorcycles at Target. And I kind of always wanted to get in one of those.
I know. So they're so slow though.
Yeah, but when you back up, they go beep, beep, beep. So I would back up and I would turn around and put my arm out, like if I was backing up in a car.
So funny.
And I was like beep, 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 putting stuff in my cart.
I should do that. I should pretend that I broke something and just do that in Target.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
that
so
was
funny.
my weekend.
And now you have a broken pinky.
And then my husband's downstairs.
And you don't have a sitter.
My mom arrives tomorrow, thank God. But I asked my husband to stay home and take care of the baby today. I'm like, I can't take care of my baby with a broken foot. How am I gonna go up and down the stairs?
That's hilarious. I know. I was kind of getting sick. Over the weekend. I was like, I can't get sick. I cannot afford to get sick. I put like all these echinacea in my body and like all these things because I was like, I cannot get sick.
And then my husband, like, I was like, honey, nothing can happen to you right now. Do you understand me? You cannot break a foot. You can't break a foot either. Like you nothing can happen to you. Mom is sad. But I'll tell you one thing. When I was there, I was like, kind of cool because now when the baby wakes up, because the baby's now waking up at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my god!
Ever since the time change, he's waking up at 5 and 5:30 a.m. Like that's his wake up time. And of course, I'm the one who always gets up. But now, no, Daddy has to wake up. And last night, he was like, it was like 9 p.m. He's like, all right, but let's go to bed. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, because I know I have to wake up tomorrow at 5:30 when the baby wakes up.
That's good. Good.
I'm like, what about before when I had to?
Yeah. Yesterday for the spa, you know, a lot of my friends, most of my friends have kids. So the significant others stayed home with the babies. And when we came back to the lockers after the spa and everything, we had like all these missed calls from like, what time are you coming home? Like my friend, she just had a baby. Her husband was like, give me the address because the baby can't stop crying. I'm gonna take him to you.
What? To the spa?
I know. And then my other friend, she has an older daughter. She had 17 missed calls from the daughter. Okay, I was like, Jesus Christ. My husband was like, what time are you coming? Like, you know, I have to do this and I have to do that. And I was like, seriously, I was like, I'm so glad we left our phones in the lockers. We just did not care. And I was like, they are nothing without us. And my husband was like, I just, you know, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm fine. I just want to know what time you're going to be here.
I'm okay. I just need to plan things out.
I know. And I was just like, oh my God, you know, sometimes as moms, we just need to put our phones away and just be alone and be by ourselves, which was great. It was great. And if you ladies have not tried a Korean spa, I highly suggest you guys do it.
I mean, I know it's a Koreatown thing. We live in LA and our restaurant's in Koreatown. But when you go to a Korean spa, you don't know you're dirty until you go to a Korean spa. And you're like, damn, all this mugre is coming out of my body.
Yeah, because they scrub you. I mean, they scrub you. You know, I did not tell my friends how it was going to be. So it was out because nobody would have shown up, right? So I didn't tell them, and they showed up, and they were like, dude, we have to be naked? Like, I was like, yeah, take it off. And they're like, and then what are they going to do? I'm like, they're just going to scrub you. And then afterwards, they were like, dude, that was some scrubbing. I was like, yeah, the ladies get on top of you.
Oh, yeah.
With the zacate, and they're like, you know? And I was like, oh,
and they
my neck.
But they kind of mishandle you, huh?
Oh,
like, manhandle you. Like, they turn it like, pah! and they slap you down in the thing. You're like, ow!
They open up your legs and they scrub you.
Yeah, they have no shame.
No, it's like older ladies.
And they're all speaking Korean. God knows what they're saying. And they're just like opening up your legs in between, opening up your ass cheeks in between there. And
your armpits,
your
neck, everything. And then they wash your hair.
Yeah.
And then they do really hard. It's like somebody's bathing you. Like they literally bathe you from head to toe.
But it's not just bathing.
No.
It's like, okay, have you guys ever gotten mugre out of your body? Have you ever when I was a little girl, my mom, every day when we shower, she was like this freak about mugre. And we had this special rock.
Yeah. That we used rocks to take a shower.
And she would just scrub our body down. And she's like, mugre, mira tu mugre. And then but then as I got older, I stopped. Yeah. I wish I still had that rock.
I got some from the rivers when I went to Oaxaca.
And then, but so when I went to the Korean spot, all this mugre. It's so funny because in English it's dead skin.
It's mugre.
They're like, yeah, they take all your dead skin. I'm like, what's dead skin? And then I was like, that's mugre.
Pounds of it, literally.
Like it just kind of, it's like you're like, ew.
Yeah, they put you on a plastic bed, and then they literally just throw water at you, and then cubetazos, like the agua, and then so my friends were like totally freaked out because they're expecting this dark room with candles.
Yeah, they're like, this is not a spa. Remember the first time you took Jackie? She was like, this isn't a spa. She was like, do you guys do prenatal massages? And then he was like, sure.
I'll just scrub your belly slower. Yeah. That's exactly what happened because this time she was pregnant again. Yeah. She's about to have a baby any minute. I was scared. I was like, I hope she doesn't have this baby on the table because they're like probably like manhandling her.
But these ladies would have probably just been like, okay, cool, we'll deliver the baby and then continue with the scrub.
Yeah, and I love it. I love it. I mean, and it was a good experience. Just being naked. Well, I was telling my friends we're 30 plus. Seriously, if you don't love yourself by now, who's gonna love you?
Yeah.
Totally. So embrace your body. This is what we are. This is who we are. Let's just do it.
All the Korean ladies do it. They have no shame.
They have no shame. And I was just like, my friends were like, okay. But then I started noticing. I was like, I'm not looking at your body. I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you. We're talking. We're all naked around in this jacuzzi, bonding, just talking. And towards the end of the day, everybody was super comfortable. And I was happy because they wouldn't have done it any other way. They wouldn't have done it. They were texting me should we bring a bathing suit? I was like, no, don't bring a bathing suit. Just come as you are. That was my weekend. We are.
We had very interesting weekends. Well, today we have a guest. Thank God. We're finally back on track. We have an amazing guest. Just so excited. We just met. But it feels like when I saw you walking into my house, I was like, it's so weird how social media works.
Yes.
We have Martha Castro, a.k.a. Mrs. Castro, on Instagram. And it's so weird how it works because even though I've never met her, even though I've never met her in my life physically, as soon as she walked into the door and she knocked on the door, I was kind of like, oh, hey girl, what's up? Come in. Because I know so much of her from her Instagram posts, but then we started talking to her and it was nothing that she could have told us in person would have resounded through social media. So today we're going to talk about social media and how weird and amazing, but also the bad sides of social media can be. So when we come back,
we have Mrs. Castro here with us.
All right, guys, stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hi, Martha.
Hello.
Hi, Martha.
How are you?
No, thank you guys for having me.
It's so weird calling you Martha because I feel like I should call you Mrs. Castro.
Everyone calls me Mrs. Castro. It's so funny. Even if I see someone, they're like, "Hi, Mrs. Castro." I'm like, "My name's Martha."
You know what? When I first text you or emailed you, I was like, should I say Martha or Mrs. Castro? I was like, "Hi, Mrs. Castro."
And even my friends, my mommy friends, they all always, "Oh yeah, Mrs. Castro," just kind of making fun of me, and I'm like, "You guys are shut up."
I don't know. It just seems like that should be your name. It's like you create yourself like a virtual name of sorts, like being, I don't know, Instagram. It's because it's so different than Facebook, right?
Definitely,
I guess, like,
definitely.
Facebook, like, you're be Martha.
Yeah.
Like, no one in like Facebook is like, hey, Mrs. Castro. You know, it's such a like Instagram language.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And that's how we met. So when I saw you, I'm like, oh, Mrs. Castro's here.
At Mrs. Castro.
Yeah. Hey, at Mrs. Castro. So how did you guys start it with like just like being so social media active, or just like your social media life, I would say? Were you like this before your baby?
No, not at all, actually. It's funny because I actually started posting pictures of nail designs. Nails. Like, I love doing my nails. Like,
I saw you, and then you have like pretty polished nails, and I was like, shit.
And I do my own nails. I don't.
You do your
Oh,
own?
yes.
What?
I don't go. Yeah, I don't have the money to go and pay like my sister every time $25 for a gel manicure. No, I do my own nails.
What? You know who does that too? Lucia, my girlfriend.
Oh,
Lucia.
really?
But she does like perfect. I'm like, how?
You know what? The other day I tried to do mine, and they were so bad. I was like, they looked like a 5-year-old did them. I was like, never
Did
mind.
Krista do it for you?
Yeah, that's what I try to say.
But that's how it started with my nail designs. And then when I got pregnant, I just really was obsessed with just my son. And I mean, who isn't, you know? And finding cute clothes and then pictures, and that's how it all started.
I think when you become a mom, I guess your life just totally becomes like surrounded yourself like
Definitely.
about like it's all about being like a mom and my kids.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're not a mom, you're like, oh, these people posting pictures of the kids all the freaking time. I was that person.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? Like, no one needs to see a picture of your baby. Like, for real.
I remember when she was pregnant, she was like, please guys, do not post pictures of my baby until I approve it. And I was like, okay. So when the baby was born, I was like, should I put a picture of my nephew? No. And then all of a sudden, like, Santiago here, Santiago there. I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Now it's like every other picture I put, like the only pictures that like get likes are my baby's pictures. So
It's so funny because, you know, I've heard that a lot of people say like, oh my gosh, I lost myself when I became a mom. I was such a mess. And for me, it's like I found myself.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's
Like,
right.
I feel like this is who I am now. Like,
Yeah.
everything else in the past doesn't matter. You know, this is who I am and this is who I want to be. Like, a lot of people say, well, you need to find a balance. You need to find time for yourself. I agree. But right now, I want to live in this moment with my son.
oh, of course.
You know, that's what I want to do. And that's how I want to live life right now.
Oh, of course. I mean, you only get them for like babies like this
Yes.
for such a small period of time. And
Yeah.
as that we don't understand, like earlier we were having this conversation about how like now you're pregnant again and you're having a girl. And my sister saying that she wanted a boy because she's like, a boy is mine and girls become little girls, you know. And I'm like, yeah, but your girls are going to be your girls forever.
Yeah.
And your boy, bye-bye, once out next woman comes around and takes them from you, you know. I'm like, so like having a boy right now, I feel like, I mean, having like a kid, it's like you only have them like this. And it's such a small time.
It
is.
is.
And it flies. People don't understand, you know, people that are not parents, they're like, oh, whatever, whatever. But seriously, you really start noticing time when you have a kid.
Yeah.
Because you see them, how much they change, how much they grow in like such short periods of time that you realize that until you have a kid, you know, then you see that and you're like, damn, they really do grow fast.
I'm like, man, the years are just passing by, and I feel, and this might sound silly, but I feel like I need to mourn every stage. Like, we were co-sleepers, and now he sleeps in his own bed, and I'm like it makes me sad. As silly as it sounds, it makes me sad.
I get you.
I love baby wearing. We were, you know, I've always, even before I was pregnant, I was still wearing him on my back, and now I'm like, I feel like I need to mourn that. Like, I feel like I need to mourn the fact that, you know, my time alone with him is gonna end soon. It's not gonna be just me and him. Like, right now, we get out, we go to breakfast. If we're running late, we'll go through the drive-through, you know, it's just us two. It's so easy. So I feel like he is. I feel like I'm gonna need to mourn that, and it sounds silly, but it's like, that's my, like, he's our everything.
Of course.
Not, you know?
It's not. I feel the same way with like the breastfeeding. You know, like I feel like she's gonna go to school in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like that's it. After she's walking, that's it. She's gone. She's gonna start like separating from mom. And I'm like, then after that, all I have is breastfeeding. And then once I stop breastfeeding, it's like done. You know, like she moves on, she becomes independent, and I'm like, I don't want to do it.
You know
I
what's
want to
so
do it,
funny?
and I don't want to do it. You know,
I told my doctor once, like, he's really good, he's independent, and oh, he's driving on his own now, and I'm like, you freaking, that's not what I mean, jerk. Like, that doctor was so, I was like, no, I mean like he likes being on his own. Like, I'm not saying he's independent, like he's gonna go off to college.
I know. So people don't understand. You know, there's a lot of things, like when you become a parent, it's like a whole new world.
It is. And I think it's so important for you to find, you know, a group of friends like that are like-minded, that you guys think the same, and to have that support, because the thing is, no one else understands. Yeah, your parents might have gone through it, but it was so different. And some of the things that you're doing now, they're looking at you like, why are you doing that? Put him down. You know, se van a hacer todos chiquiados, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you know, it's nice to have friends that think like you and support you.
I think this new generation where we are in, and I think a lot of it has to do with like all the technology and the fact that we can communicate with each other even if we're not together.
Exactly.
It helps us in a way, you know, because we bond over different things like this, like Super Mamás, you know, the group that we have, or Instagram, or the emails that they send us, or Facebook, where we communicate with each other. And it's good because, you know, how else would you ask people out there questions that you have, you know, the group that we have,
like our close group. In our close group, we get so many people. Like, I get like shocked sometimes, not shocked like, oh my god, bad things. I'm like blown away, that's the right word. I'm blown away at like the response from these mommies that are on this Facebook group, posting their everyday questions, suggestions, just
and helping each other,
what they're going through. Like sisters. It's almost like the Super Mamás Sisters, you know. Like, it's so, I don't know, it's and this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for social media, for the podcast. And I don't think, and I also think that's why moms before, like our moms, kind of don't understand what we're going through, because all they really had was their family, if they had family. And, you know, us Latinas, though, it's like, pero ¿qué va a pensar la gente? I'm not going to tell this to my prima because luego le va a decir a la tía, y la tía le va a decir a mi mamá. So we're not open with each other.
Definitely,
And sometimes we're more open with strangers than we are with our family.
Well, because it's all about the judgment, I think, you know.
And there's so much judgment. And don't get me wrong, like, I've been guilty of it. But I feel like sometimes social media, like, it has this good, you know, it's good. I love it. I found some great friends and great support, but at the same time, people judge you.
Oh yeah.
People are going to judge you regardless. And I think as a mother, you need to let go of that. Let go and do you. Do what's best for you and your child, whether you're going to breastfeed or you're going to bottle feed, or you're going to push a stroller or you're going to baby wear. It shouldn't matter. You shouldn't do something because social media says you should, or because the mom you follow on Instagram baby wears. You're going to go and break the bank and buy a $200 baby carrier. And I feel like it's gotten to a point where it's like that right now.
Oh, yeah. I think that, and I think it's also, I think people get just too hanged up on what they see on, like you were telling me, like a square, because they only see, and we talked about this, remember, before, where they only see a moment. You know, like if I post a picture of my baby where she looks super cute,
it's a staged moment too.
And it's because I chose from like 150 pictures where she looks like, you know, like not good, and I'm choosing the one that where she looks decent, you know.
Of course.
But it's
think
just
about how
moment.
much we spend trying to get that perfect moment on social media.
And we don't even enjoy the moment because we're worried about capturing that moment, that we're not fully there sometimes, you know. And I think just people are like, oh my god, look at her perfect life, you know. Oh my god.
Like when I see moms that, you know, just go out to take pictures, I'm like, man, I'm sweating with the diaper bag and my son, like, how am I gonna look all casual just walking with him in my diaper bag? I'm like sweating. I'm like, that's not no, someone helped her. You know, like
that's the husband taking the picture,
right?
Yeah, and it's just very time consuming. People don't understand this, and I think a lot of people need to know this, and because I feel like before I did this,
because my sister is the one who does 90% of the social media for Super Mamás.
So you guys don't like it. Sorry, I'm learning. I'm getting better. But you know, like
she'll be like, "Is this okay?" I'm like, "Take it again."
But it's just like, people before that, when I didn't know, and I would just see pictures of other moms like with their babies wearing perfect matched clothes and everything. I was like, dude, like, I'm not doing a good job with my kids. My kids don't look like that. And I think that's what a lot of moms feel too. Sometimes they feel the pressure of like looking perfect or doing perfect things to put the one picture up, or like,
what I should do? I should screenshot some of the, like, how you can tell on your
camera roll
how many of the same pictures you've taken. I'm going to take a screenshot of how many times I've taken of my son and like the one I chose, but it's like it's so many. Remember, I was like, look at how many I had to take for that one.
And then I'm like, no, Krista, stand there again. She's like, no.
That's how I am with the selfies. I take like 100 selfies before I post one, and I'm like, and I still didn't like it. But with my son, it's so easy because, and I don't, like, if he just tells me, Mama, no pictures, then I don't do pictures. But here and there, he'll just stand there and smile. Like, you can even ask my friends, they're like, man, you can tell Liam's a pro. I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, if he enjoys that,
He does. And, it's not something he's going to be doing for the rest of his life.
Yeah. And I mean, social media, it's a good thing.
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah. Hey, he's starting young.
But that's the thing. Like, that's another thing. We don't have control over what our kids are going to be. Can you say real quick that story, Paulina?
So we're,
sidetracking
from here. We have at the restaurant and we do a lot of parties there. So I had a client this past week and they're going to do their baby's first year at the restaurant. And
the Korean culture, the first year party is a huge deal.
Huge
if you
deal.
think Latinos make a huge deal of a birthday party, Koreans are a step above.
So they were telling me about the ceremony that they do, right? They're going to do where they are going to put the baby, I don't know if in the floor, I guess. And then they put different things. And the baby's going to choose what the baby is for the rest of his life.
So they get a table and they put like 5 different items. And they put the baby to look at the table. And then the baby walks and chooses his destiny or her destiny.
Yeah, they were telling me they put in like a microphone, a pen, like a golf. She said golf ball. So I was like, oh, okay. Like a picture, a dollar bill. They put different things. They're like, oh, well, if he chooses the microphone, she's gonna be an entertainer, and if he chooses the pen, she's gonna be a writer or a creative. And I was like, that's a lot of pressure on the baby, like but it's a tradition. So I guess
That's crazy, huh?
We go to Disneyland and my son wants to work at Disneyland.
So that's my sister.
That's my little sister. My little sister is 24 years old. 23 or
24. She'll be 24.
To this day, she's always wanted to work at Disney.
Oh yeah, that's her dream.
To this day,
that's like
she
her
wants
dream
to
job.
work. Yeah, I mean now she wants to work at a corporate level. When she was in high school, she wanted to like just work at the park. Yeah.
Well, another thing that Mrs. Castro and I have in common, we love Disneyland. Yay!
It's funny when I told my sister, I was like, so why should we talk to Mrs. Castro? And I'm like, can you ask her if she lives close to Disneyland and how would they say that she's always there?
Well, I live like 30 minutes away from Disneyland, even though I grew up in Santa Ana, and Santa Ana and Anaheim are like right next to each other. I don't live that far from Disneyland, but my goal is to go once a week. And
I know you told me that.
And if I can make it once a week, with and we don't, like my husband says, every time you go, you always want to take pictures. I'm like, no, I don't. We've gone and not taken any pictures or posted anything on social media. So we like going. It's fun.
Going. It's so much fun. I know people complain about how expensive it is.
I know, me too.
It is expensive, but I think it's the perfect. They really know how to do their job. Like it's a place for families.
I think Disney knows how to do
it. Yeah, right? It's like they really know how to like make you have everything that you need for your family there.
Well, and like I told you, if you are, like for me that I quit my job to stay at home and our budget is tighter, if we don't have the money to go on a vacation every year or do different outings and we can just do Disneyland as a family, I mean, what else do I want? That's more than enough.
Yeah, and it's fun. I like it. And they have fun, and you have fun.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you leave you had a corporate job? You said, right?
Yeah, I was working for the County Office of Education. I was doing the subsidized childcare for low income families.
Oh,
so I was there for a little bit over 5 years. So I really loved my job. but I felt like I wanted to be at home. I wasn't happy. It wasn't nothing related to my job or my boss. It was just I wasn't happy. And I felt like I've never taken a risk in life, ever. I've always been by the books, get a good job, get good benefits, you need, retirement, put in your retirement, you both work. And I felt like this is a risk that I needed to take for myself.
Yeah.
Scary. It's totally scary because I've never done anything like that.
How old was Liam when you decided to come back home full time?
I just quit in July.
What?
Oh, just recently.
Just recently.
So did you stay with him the first 3 months?
Well,
because that's the norm, right?
I actually stayed with him almost 7 months.
Oh,
My
wow.
job was, was really good. I have no complaints over that because I was able to stay home with him until almost 7 months. And we got allocated sick time that I could use to take days off, plus accumulated vacation time. And then in December, we got 2 weeks off. So, it wasn't bad. But it just started getting to that point where I was just not happy, and my husband had gotten a promotion. And I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now or I'm going to regret it. And I don't want to regret it. Yeah. So I just did it. And it was tough for me because, like I said, I've never taken a risk. And for me, that was a big risk.
Of course.
So, but now that I'm home, I'm so happy. And Liam at first every day would tell me, Mama, you go to work? And I would say, no, not today. And he would get all excited. Then he stopped asking me. So he was kind of worried at first. And then I found out I was pregnant. And then I was like, man, if I would have just waited a little longer, I would have taken it back. Because I was paying into like a colonial so I can take extra time off and get it paid full time. Because I was trying to get pregnant while I was still working. And so, but things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and
definitely. And you found that you were pregnant when you were 5 months.
Almost 5 months, yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy, I know.
That's crazy. And you're going to have a girl now. That's so cute.
Next time I'm pregnant, I hope I find out when I'm 5 months. Because your pregnancy is so short.
Yeah, it is.
I found out when I was 5 weeks, girl. My pregnancy was a long.
Well, that's with Liam. I was 4 weeks too.
Yeah, and you're pregnant for a year practically.
Oh yeah.
It's like you're pregnant forever. And then you're 5 months, you're like, okay, I only have 4 months to go.
But the only way that will happen is if you have irregular cycles.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Yeah. I don't get a period. I can go 3-4 months without a period. And
I know you were telling me.
Yeah.
You were telling me that
I have my period right now. Imagine I have a broken foot and I have my period.
Oh.
We had a whole 10-minute conversation on periods with my sister, and we deleted it and never published it.
Oh,
because we went on a little period tangent.
Oh man!
But you're lucky because you're pregnant now, and now you don't get your period.
Yes.
And you were saying that you actually had difficulties with you getting pregnant.
With Liam, I did. We did 1 round of Clomid. Luckily, we didn't have to go. We only did the 50 milligrams of Clomid.
Because Clomid a hormone?
It helps you. No, it helps you ovulate.
Oh, okay.
It helps you ovulate. Prior to that, I did progesterone shots, and then I did the Clomid. And it worked the first time, 50 milligrams, got pregnant, everything was fine. And then I tried it again. I tried 2 rounds. And it didn't work. And then my friend had given me a round from TJ, from Tijuana.
Oh, wait. We're talking about Liam?
With Liam. Yeah, with Liam. For the second one, I didn't take anything. It was
wait,
naturally.
hold on. You said you took a round of shots and then it worked?
With Liam, when I was pregnant with Liam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So with Liam, I did that. And luckily I got pregnant the first time around. And the second time around, when we were trying to get pregnant, it didn't work. So I was really bummed out. I was like, oh man, how, if it worked the first time, why is it not working the second time?
Yeah.
And so it didn't work. And my husband said, you know what, let's just take a break. Let's enjoy life. And I was like, you know what, let's enjoy it. It is what it is. And God has a plan. And then bam, I was pregnant. And I didn't know till I was almost 5 months.
I know. We were talking about the difficulty sometimes that women have getting pregnant, and you were telling me you didn't tell anybody that you were going through that because you felt like people were going to judge you for not being fertile.
Yeah.
No, because it happens, and more in our culture, because
they're
we're
like, oh, you're Mexican, you can have kids.
I know, right? And it's hard. It's so hard. I went through the same thing, and at the beginning, I wasn't that worried, but then years started going by, and then people were like, so, ¿cuándo? ¿Para cuándo? That freaking question. ¿Para cuándo se trae el bebé? ¿Para cuándo se trae el bebé?
But that's never going to finish. You can have 5 kids and be like, ¿y van a ir por el sexto?
¿Ya terminaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's like,
But it's more pressure when it's your first one.
it's a
Mhm. Oh,
lot
definitely.
of pressure. It's a lot of
Definitely.
pressure. It's a lot of pressure that people put in our culture. I know a girl that hasn't been able to get pregnant, and she has so much problems with her mother-in-law because, you know, it's like, oh, no le puedes dar un hijo a mi hijo, you know, and it's like,
Wow.
you know,
And that's the least thing you need during that time.
and it, you know, it hurts so much, and people don't understand how much it hurts when you try and try and try, and month after month after month you realize that you're not pregnant. I remember I used to cry so much and just be like, why? Like,
Mhm.
you know, I really want a baby. I've been wanting this baby for such a long time, and then I can't get pregnant, and then people are like, oh, you know, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be, you know,
It'll
soon.
happen.
Don't stress about it.
Don't
I'm
stress
like,
about it.
shut the hell up. If you don't want me to stress about it, then shut up about it. You know, and it's not that easy because I say it to my friends all the time, like, oh, you know, just take it easy. But then I know it's not that easy to
It's
just be calm about it.
And sometimes you do need a little science.
Yeah.
You know, you do need, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, it's all it is in God's hands. And I'm a big believer
Yeah.
in that. But sometimes you need that extra little science to
Yeah.
help you out.
You just need a nudge.
Yeah,
Just
and
the
there's no
nudge.
shame on
Extra,
that. I
you
think,
know.
you know, if somebody out there just has any tip, go check yourself out.
Or go
Talk
to
to
Salvador.
someone. I did it.
I did it all too.
I did with the Salvador, and her name is Fertile. She's in Monrovia, in downtown Monrovia, and her name was Fertile Myrtle. And my husband went with me. It didn't work, obviously, but
It's funny. I got a card on my mailbox there. It says Salvador. Caídas de matriz, caídas de mollera, dolores de espalda, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we doing to our people? Like,
Yeah.
caídas de mollera, like what?
Yeah, you know the
se le
head
cayó la
thing?
mollera,
cayó
por
la
eso está llorando.
Oh yeah. No, I fixed Sabina from her mollera. Because you know, mom was like, no, es que se le cayó la mollera, por eso no puede respirar bien. So I was like, really? So I put her upside down and I hit her foot.
That's something my grandma would do. My mom's mom.
For real.
Disclosure, do not do this at home.
Do not, no,
Do not
no.
do this at home. We are just sharing our experiences.
Yeah, she was like, you know, es la mollerita. Es que se le oye en la garganta la mollerita. Se le cayó la mollera. I'm like, oh my God.
But anyway, Salvadores. Or you can go to a clinical doctor and get tested and get, you know.
Yeah.
What are the 2 things that you used?
Well, I was on metformin, which is a diabetic medication that helps with women with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I was on that for a year. And then before I started taking Clomid, I did progesterone shots for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
So they're oil-based shots that you take, and they help you get your period. So before I took the Clomid, my doctor made sure that my period was coming in before 35 days.
Oh, just because you're not
I don't have a regular period.
cycle. Oh, okay. Got it.
A regular
And that's
cycle.
so common, right? I mean,
It
I
is.
thought it's so, like, you know, there's all these.
And people say
things.
because you're overweight or because this, but you know what? I've met people that are skinny and have issues. So.
Oh, yeah.
I never really understood how somebody could like find out that they're pregnant until they're like 8 months. You know,
And now I do.
you know, and the rest would be like, "That's ridiculous! Like, you know, you were pregnant. Like, come on."
Well, this is the funny story. I was telling my girlfriends know all about this. I was telling them that I was laying in bed and I felt like a bump on my stomach, like a hard, you know, just a hard spot. And my husband says, "That's a tumor." He was like, "That's a tumor, hon. You need to go to the doctor." So I did call my doctor to make an appointment, but then I ended up switching the appointment to find out if I was pregnant or not. But that happened, and even that, I didn't cross my mind. I was just like, I'm waiting for my period. I'm gonna take some herbs, get my period, but first let me take a pregnancy test.
Yeah, but that's because your period is irregular, right?
Correct.
See, I get my
Correct.
period on
Me
the
too.
dot 28 days.
Yeah, you can
Me
never,
too.
you would find out right
Oh,
away.
yeah. Well, let's go back really quick to social media because I think that was like we started talking about, and this is what happens when you're with the Lopez sisters, the Super Mamás Sisters. You're just kind of like you're just talking about one thing.
You
and then
got carried away.
and then, but that's how we. Isn't that how moms are?
It is totally.
And women are.
Yeah.
I know you said like that you found like a new set of friends through Instagram and like mommy friends,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like that's another topic that we've discussed in our mommy group about how difficult it is to make mommy friends
It
Oh, yeah.
is.
after you. And it's and it's funny because now with Instagram and all sorts of social media, don't you guys sometimes feel like it's high school again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's exactly
And
high school,
I've
right?
lost, you know, people that we're friends, you know, on social
unquote.
media, or, you know, I met in person once or twice. And I feel like it's maybe worse than high school. It is.
But like, why
because
do you
it's
think?
real life.
Why?
Because high school is 4 years, and then you get out, and then whatever.
And you don't even talk to the people, and you're just like, whatever. But, you know, I feel like some moms are just so, there's so much jealousy, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
hard.
no, I believe it.
It's so hard to find moms that are just, you know, that don't care about certain things. And a lot of moms, I feel like it's almost a competition. Like, ooh, let's see who has a better this or a better that. And that's something that, you know, I guard my group. So like, I protect them so much that whenever we feel like we want to invite someone else, we're always so hesitant because we don't want to ruin our dynamic that we have. And it sucks, you know, because, you know, the more the merrier, but it's hard to find. It's hard to find mommy friends.
Well, I think, I think our one of our girlfriends, Betsy, who was also a guest, who we became really good friends with after she was a guest on the show, wrote about that. She had an article on mom.me, and it was about how it could be cliquey, it could be mean, it could be sort of like, oh, well, you don't judgy,
very judgy,
you know, and you're right. It's almost, someone should make a movie about that. But I also think sometimes it's something that comes from within us.
Oh yeah, insecurities.
You know? It's insecurities
It
that
is.
we have, like that we have. So that's how someone gets defensive. They're like, you know, if someone tells me like, oh, something, I might get defensive because I feel like I'm not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking, but it's always on us. I feel like we get it in our heads.
We do.
So much that like we can never be good enough. We can never be good enough moms. Or the other day I had an incident with my formula that I think I'll share later in a different episode, but I started crying. Like my first reaction was to cry and just say to myself, you're a horrible mom because you didn't exclusively breastfeed. Like
That's how I felt.
Like how dare you start, like, and I just started supplementing like 2 months ago, and it was so hard for me to start the supplementation. And I was like, oh my God, I'm such a bad mom for like giving my child formula. And I was like, I said slap myself and be like, shut up. Like, there's women who can't do that.
Yeah.
And babies are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You will be. And that's how I felt too. And now, obviously, the second time around, you're much wiser. You know more, and you don't let those things affect you.
And you're a little bit more relaxed. I think the first time you're just so hard on yourself
because you're trying to find like I told you guys, a label. You're trying to be, who are you going to be? Are you going to be the trendy mom with the nice bugaboo stroller and your crystal studded pacifier, or are you going to be?
They have crystal stroller pacifiers. I'm just
you know, like you are. I remember myself, I felt like I labeled myself.
Yeah.
You know, our attachment parenting, co-sleeping, baby wearing, breastfeeding. And at the end of the day, none of that matters.
No.
None of that
And also
matters.
I think because, you know, when the whole thing with the social media, going back to the social media or things like that, like I just think people, there's a point where they feel that you're unreachable and you're like, and that people feel that you feel you're above everybody else,
and it's
unless
like
they
that.
know you on a personal level.
Exactly.
They don't know you. Like, you don't know me from what I put on my on Instagram and Facebook. Like, I just, and I've come across this a lot recently where people are like, you know, yeah, but she said this she put a status on Facebook and I know it was about me. I'm like, how do you know it was about you? Like, really? Like, the world does not revolve around you. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I've gotten that a lot too. And I'm like, dude, I'm just like you.
Yeah.
I'm just like you.
We're just like
trying to make it, trying to have fun, live in the moment.
we are all
life.
trying to do us.
Right.
And right now, let's take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Take a run of shots. Oh, you can't. You're pregnant.
No.
Just kidding. Okay, you guys, we'll be right back.
We'll be back. That was a long break. I just made me a michelada.
I know, I saw that. Aren't you happy that I have all the condiments here?
Yes, thank you.
You open the fridge, you're like, ooh, modelo.
Michelada.
Mrs. Castro, you're gonna come back when you're not pregnant. And get
For
down,
sure.
And get down with the Lopez sisters.
You know what happened? I had actually bought stuff to make a michelada before I found out I was pregnant because I was craving it. And then I found out I was pregnant, and I can send you guys the pictures when I get home. I have the cups, like, you know, those dollar cups that they sell at the liquor store. And I never got to have
No,
it.
you
No, you need to have the
you
real
need to have
stuff.
the real stuff.
No, I know.
Those cups suck.
Yeah, I'm
They
sure.
suck.
You can have a little bit. You know what? When I was pregnant, I would drink wine. I would drink beer. I know everyone's different.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own thing.
I drink coffee. I'm like every day.
I actually didn't drink coffee
No,
that
you
much.
didn't.
Actually, did no. I actually didn't. I actually did not. But yes, I would drink a little beer and a little wine. And my friends are always like, "Really?" I'm like,
And that was the only thing that would make you feel better.
I never get plastered. I was never like,
Yeah.
yeah, at the club, like we're taking shots. But
Who
I
would be at the club pregnant?
My
That's so
sister.
irresponsible. Oh, that was me.
Paulina was at the club in Vegas, pregnant.
Well, because one of my best friends got married and I was 7 months pregnant and they invited me. So I went and they were like, we're going to go bar hopping. And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So it was me. I was the one dancing,
I was a pregnant girl at the club.
bar hopping. But you know, like
Paulina.
I was just only like my friends, my really close friends. And
You were
like,
in a party bus.
I was at a party bus.
I wonder.
But you know what? It was so funny because everybody was taking care of me, you know? It was not as fun because, you know, it was the first stop. Everybody was like under everything, you know, 100%. They were like, I was like, yeah, hi, everybody. Like after the second club, everybody was just like, I was like, nah, this is not fun anymore. Like, I'm done. So at like a certain time, I was like, okay, girls, I'm going to go to my room and then you guys can continue on. But it was fun. I mean, I did it.
Okay. Pick or tip of the week.
You start.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give you guys a tip that yesterday I let the baby down on the mat here upstairs for the first time because
Nice.
again I'm baby proofing and I'm trying to create a play area for him up here, and all his toys are downstairs, right?
Right.
And I have a broken toe, so for me to go downstairs and get a couple toys, I was like, oh. But then I remembered, I'm like, hello, Bricia, Rye, my Rye parenting. Dude, the best play object for the babies, and I remember this yesterday, are just bottles, plastic bottles. So I have a bunch of my little like milk storage bottles, the Medela ones that I use to keep my milk. He freaking loves those bottles. And you know what? He would grab them and then he started like screaming inside the bottle.
That's so cute.
So it would project. So he couldn't stop. It was like, and then he'd go, ha, 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 because he would hear himself
Yeah. That's
projecting
so cute.
on the plastic bottle.
That's great.
So, though, you guys, that's a great tip. That's a wonderful play object for your child. Plastic bottles.
anything.
Just any bottles. They could be.
Caps. No, not caps, but
Not
like
caps.
tapas. What do you call it?
Oh, he also loves the, and I also gave him these that he also really liked, were the cups, the tops for your bottle. So the bottle tops, the white ones, well, mine are white because I use Dr. Brown. So those, or just even the bottles, like his bottles, just empty and clean, sterilized, and he loved them. So that's my tip.
Nice.
I started giving Sabina the wood spoons and pots so that she can make
works.
noise.
Yeah.
She loves it.
I don't think I'm ready for that amount of noise yet.
It'll happen.
I know, not ready there. I'm still semi-honeymoon right now.
Mrs. Castro.
Mrs. Castro. Martha.
That sounds so
Martha.
like Mrs. Castro. Well, one of the tips right now would be, because I just potty trained my son. He'll be 3 on January 31st. And a lot of people are asking me, how did you do it? How, what did you do? I didn't do the M&Ms. I didn't buy the small potty. I just waited. I waited until he showed signs that he was ready. So I didn't pressure him. I just waited. And one day he wanted to be naked. He likes being naked. He has naked time before a bath every day. So this time in the morning, he wanted to be naked. And I was like, no, we're going to go have breakfast. I don't want you to be naked eating. So I said, why don't you wear your chonies, his undies? And he said, okay. So he wore his chonies and he had an accident. And he didn't like it. So I explained to him, Liam, this is when you need to go to the toilet. Just say, Mama, I need to go. So that happened. And then he pooped in the chonies. He pooped and he wasn't happy. He was very upset. And Mama, I have poo-poo. Ew, I need to shower. So I gave him a bath and I explained to him again. After that, he hasn't had any accidents.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So
that's good.
But see, I never pressured him. I had asked him before, do you want to go in the big toilet? He said no. I said, all right, I'm not going to pressure him. I had bought in the chonies before, and I had shown him to him. They were Captain Hook ones from Jake and the Neverland. Yeah. So, and he didn't want to wear them. I didn't pressure him. I just waited. I said, you know what? I don't mind. I've been buying diapers, whatever. And then one day he was just ready, and it just happened.
Okay. So you went from diapers to chonies.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I didn't do the pull-ups. He was wearing diapers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And even at night, I just, the first 2 days he wore a diaper. The third day I said, all right, let's try it out. And he didn't wet the bed.
That's good.
Well, he's just ready.
He was ready.
He's ready.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
that's my tip for you to wait. It doesn't matter. Just because he's 2, a lot of people feel like, oh, they're 2. Let's potty train. No.
Yeah,
wait.
everyone's different.
Everyone's
wait.
very
I
different.
think the same thing also when kids, like I'm going through this right now because my kid is 7 months and he's not crawling yet. And I think everyone's like, so he's not crawling. I'm like, I don't care if he doesn't. Believe me, I am happier him just staying in one area for right now.
I was going to say,
I can
enjoy
wait
it.
until that happens. But same thing happens. It's like pressure.
Pressure.
And it's like, no, let them. He'll crawl when he's ready.
Mine didn't crawl till
train.
after a year.
Yeah, see? So everyone, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
All children are different.
All of them.
And I don't know why people keep putting our babies in like one box. Like they have to do
this. And they
this,
compare them
and
to.
they have to do that. So no.
So yeah, that's my
Relax,
tip. Just
relax.
wait. It's not a big deal. So what if you have to buy diapers for a few more months? Or
Take
who
a chill
cares if
pill.
they're going to be 3?
Yeah.
You don't want to traumatize them.
No, I think that I started potty training because I was pregnant and I was afraid of changing into diapers. I don't know why. But, same thing. When she was ready, and I trained her in like 3 days. And
they say girls are easier than boys. I honestly thought I was going to have a tough time.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it was easy, but I don't know. We'll see this time around. Yeah. But I actually had like night diapers for like a whole year.
Really?
A whole year. And then one day I was just like, they ran out and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have any more. And then
would she wet them?
No. Oh, yeah, she would.
Yeah.
But she would wet them in the morning when she was awake because she was lazy to go to the bathroom. No, she would. And then one day I ran out. And then I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have any more. And then she never wet the bed. I was like, I should have done this a long time ago. But I think it's just you know, that also like you're just like.
Well, and my thing, I was lazy too because, the summer, it was my first summer off not working. And I want to go to Disneyland and we want to go on play dates. I'm like, I don't want to go through the hassle. I didn't. And then now I'm like, all right, that wasn't that bad.
It was. It's not. I mean, sometimes it's not. I mean, I guess sometimes it depends on the kid. But I think if you don't take it too serious, I think it makes it easier.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Paulina, your tip or pick?
I have a pick and a tip this week. Remember last week I went to Target. Anyway, I went to Target.
One time, that one Target trip? Or did you take another one?
No. That went before.
Oh, okay.
Where I spend so much money. Anyway, one of the things that I spend money on actually paid off really well. A while ago, I had heard about these wet brushes for the hair. And I had no idea what they were, right? But somebody said it was like really good to like detangle the hair. And I was using detangler for Krista, but then my mom brought up a point about like, why am I putting things on her hair so early? So I went to Target and I got a wet brush, WET brush. Man, I love that brush. Like I use it myself. I use it for her. 1 brush, 2 brush, 3 brush, done. Her hair is done, untangled. Like you pass the brush and it's done. And it works for me too. And I love it because it doesn't yank your hair. It doesn't break your hair. And it's just so good for like, when our kids have like long hair. So that's my pick.
Nice.
The wet brush.
And your tip?
My tip. Okay. My tip. It just occurred to me last night because after the whole day at the spa with my girlfriends, I wanted to end up my night just, relax. So I was like, what do I do? And I don't know if I told you guys that I bought a coloring book for adults. And I don't know, I just thought I just liked it and I got it and I started coloring and it's so relaxing. After the kids went to bed, I colored for like 30 minutes. And then I lit my creative psych mode. No, because, like, it's not like coloring like the kids. You mix and match and you do these things. And it was so relaxing, like, to color. I had a glass of
I
wine. I was
kinda wanna color
coloring.
too.
You should. Remember I told you that for my birthday I wanted some colors?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were like, okay.
No,
But it's because of that.
Like adult color.
It's adult coloring. It's like gardens, flowers. I mean, just random things, right? And it's called like relaxing books. And then you just color.
And where can you purchase one?
Anywhere. Amazon.
Amazon.
I got it at a bookstore. And I really like them. And I finished my first page last night. I was like, oh, I look so cute. And then I went on to the next one. It was
Did
a
you take
bird.
a picture for Instagram?
No, I
Oh.
haven't.
You went up, you finished your relaxing time with like 100 pictures so you get like the
No.
perfect stage photo of your coloring.
No, I actually put it away, went to sleep.
It was nighttime, so the lighting probably
The
wasn't good.
lighting
Lighting
was not good.
But you have to snap a picture for our Instagram
Yeah,
page.
I will. But no, I totally recommend it. It's inexpensive. We all have colors for our kids.
Yeah.
And then you just color for like a little while before you go to sleep. Your mind quiets down. You're
I'm
not
gonna
on the
do that.
phone, you know?
That definitely sounds.
That sounds relaxing.
Yeah, and then my husband was like Googling pictures of birds so he could show me. And I was like, oh, this color looks nice. And then mix it and match. And it was good. I liked it. So
That's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's relaxing, inexpensive. You know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Paulina. And thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha.
Mrs. Castro.
Thank you guys
for
for
coming.
having me.
Yes. Anytime you want to come by, it's your home whenever.
Thank you.
You can find Mrs. Castro at Mrs. Castro on Instagram. Hit her up. She has awesome pictures of her stylish son and her Disneyland trips. And my sister and me, you can find us at @_Super Mamás, and our close group, guys.
Super Mamás, 2 words with an exclamation point at the end. I know people said that it's kind of hard to look for, but you know, just scroll down. We're there.
Or just go through our Facebook page, which is...
we have links. Oh, Super Mamás Podcast.
And I will also link our private group in our website, which is supermamaspodcast.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on SoundCloud or Stitcher. If you don't have an iPhone, that Stitcher is an app you can download and find your podcasts on any Droid phone.
And our hotline.
And our hotline, 424-326-3707, 424-326-3707.
Leave us a message.
I love listening to your messages, you guys. I know we haven't played them in a while, but I promise you next week we will. They're awesome. I love listening to you guys and putting a voice to all the faces and all the moms on Instagram that leave us messages. Again, Mrs. Castro, Martha, thank you so much for
you,
being
Martha.
here.
Guys, thank you
Hope you
guys.
have you next time when you have your baby, and
Yes,
tell
I
us
would love to
how
come
it is
back.
having a little boy and a little girl in your house. All right, guys, we are out.
We are out.
Bye.
See you next week. Bye.